Hello and namaste. My name is Tim Halloran and this is a weekly astrology forecast. We are now into the third week of October. Today is Wednesday the 16th. Yesterday Mars entered Virgo. The Sun's now moving into the final degrees of Libra. The Moon is in Pisces right now. Tonight around 9 p.m. it'll enter Aries and it will remain there through Friday when at 7:38 p.m. we will have the first full moon lunar eclipse of the season, happening in 26 degrees of Aries. So if we could all just take some breaths, sort of shake it out, shake it out of our system, do some stretches, get all amped up, because stuff is about to get moving. We're about to get stuff done. Yeah, this is Mars entering Virgo yesterday. When Mars enters Virgo, he gets a lot of stuff done. He's a perfectionist, he's scrutinizing, he can be a little bit hard on himself. But it is definitely a time when we are using our wills to clean up. And I think a lot of what this full moon this weekend is also suggesting some of. Eclipse seasons are very powerful. They're periods of enlightenment, where we learn about pieces that were missing before, where we shed light on the darkness. And happening in Aries, it's going to be a time of shedding light on ourselves. But before I get more into that eclipse, I do want to talk about some of the other transits happening right now. For example, we have Venus, which entered Sagittarius last week. Now it's squaring Chiron and trine to Uranus. And whenever Venus, or any planet for that matter, squares Chiron, it's a bit of a trampling. It hurts. Chiron is the wound, being square to Venus. It's probably our friends, it's our lovers, bringing up the wound to us. But either which way, it's the feminine aspect of ourselves which is now being brought to our attention. As we've been talking about, the feminine has been trampled in the old paradigm. It's been a patriarchy, it's been male dominant, and the feminine energy within each of us, it does not matter if you are the world's greatest boxer or a fierce bouncer of a bar. You have a feminine nature, you need your mommy on a certain level, and this Chiron wound is bringing up these wounds and associated to the feminine, the compassionate, caring, nurturing, loving aspect in ourself. And also being in trine to Uranus, it's like we're sort of familiarizing ourselves with our feminine truth, as well as the feminine wound, And really I see this working in conjunction with the full moon lunar eclipse coming up, because this is sort of like a purge. We're taking off some levels, getting some stuff out, and getting emotionally prepared for some of the stuff that's coming around the corner. We're tough. We're way more talented and way more with it and have way more gifts than we ever realized, and that's coming to us very soon. But in the meantime, we are sort of having to, move through the final steps of realizing what still hurts us, what we're about to change. Everything's shifting right now, stuff needs to change. This Venus being square, Venus in Sagittarius now. Sagittarius is enlightenment, it's the big picture, it's wisdom. She's remembering the wound. She's remembering. It's a time of remembering how we've personally been injustified by the world. How we personally have been scarred by how the world is right now. And we're remembering this in preparation for the time that's coming up with this full moon in Aries, which is going to be my truth. This is how I am. This is how I was shaped. This is how I was formed. It's a time to be speaking up for your strength that comes out of this core truth. You can't fake your core truth. You can't be strong the way everybody else is strong. We all have strength in different areas. Aries is a very masculine sign. It's the warrior. This is a fiery weekend we're entering right now. People are feeling screwed. People are angry. And it's a time of stepping up and saying, this is going to change. This is what we're going to do to change it. And I'm going to make sure that this happens, because this is not happening anymore. It's the end of your way. It's the beginning of our way. Now, Aries can sometimes be a little my way or the highway, which is why I mentioned this Venus-Chiron square. We have to incorporate the feminine in with this Aries energy, because The warrior, what is the function of the warrior? The warrior protects. What is the warrior protecting? Inherently, femininity. The warrior is protecting that which is weaker than himself, the women and the children who can't defend themselves. Do you understand? And really, this is a kind of important truth that masculinity is in service to femininity. At least on this planet it is, here on Mother Earth. Yeah? We're trying to preserve the feminine. We're trying to protect the feminine. We're trying to re-access the feminine in ourselves, because that feminine is the compassionate, the nurturing, the caring force. And she's been screwed. She's been trampled. Our culture right now doesn't care about you. You know, the government does not care about you. Why? They're out of touch with their own inner feminine. They have mommy issues, you know? There's no good or bad anymore. We're very confused. We're hurt. And you know, that's something that's really important. Balancing this masculine and feminine is it's also the balance between objectivity and subjectivity. The feminine is very subjective. This story happened to me. This injustice happened to me. And it's very small. You know, I remember this little part. And you know, we feel this right now, and it's a part, you know, it's us. The story, the small jiva self, my human being, suffers because of subjective things, you know? It's not fair. I got trampled, you know, I tried to be good. But we're keeping that in balance with the objectivity, which is, yes, I am hurt, I feel these pains, there is this story, and it's a part of a process. It's a part of a chemical reaction. It's a part of a bigger picture, which I also am. And we're trying to balance these two out, because if you're too objective, what happens? The objective scientist does not care about the lab rats and the cats that are being electrocuted and dumped in water and doing whatever they do in the name of science, because it's all chemical reaction to them, no subjectivity. And if it's all subjectivity, if it's all about my story, what happened to my people, what happened to my family, what did they do to my religion? Well, then you're missing pieces, aren't you? You're missing the history. You're missing the other side of the story. You're missing the rest of the reaction, which we are also a part of. So, this full moon in Aries, powerful. Mars is in Virgo now. It's going to be in an exact opposition to Neptune during this full moon. This is striving towards the ideal, striving for perfection. We want balance, we want harmony, we want a renaissance. Everybody does. There is no good or bad people out there. It's not like Muslims don't want a renaissance, Christians don't want a renaissance, Buddhists don't want a renaissance. It does not depend upon your race, your nation, your religion, your ontology. Everybody wants the same thing inherently. We want the Garden of Eden. We want paradise. There is no good and bad. We're striving to get towards the same thing, but here's the thing. We've all been hurt, we've all been broken, we've all been trampled. And it's like with this Venus square Chiron, we can take responsibility. It's like we feel responsible for our friends and our lovers and ourselves for not being perfect. I just want my partner to be happy all the time. I want them to be comfortable all the time. And then comes the realization that it is impossible here in this world. You know, and that's where the objectivity is necessary. Because there is more to the story. There is a bigger picture. We came into this relationship already broken. We're already broken, all of us. So when we recognize the wounds and the pain within ourselves, sure, it can happen through conversation, it happens through our day-to-day things that triggers that, but we can't always hold ourselves responsible for everything. And likewise, we can't not hold ourselves responsible as well. This full moon, this is powerful. The Sabian symbol for where this full moon is falling is a man possessed with more gifts than he can hold. That is a powerful line right there. More gifts than we can hold. More power than we ever realized we have. But we have to get our goals lined up, and we have to start working, because it's not going to happen by ourselves. We are doing it. We're going to cause this thing, we're going to put this thing into creation. We're going to build it. We're going to start digging up the resources and putting together the planning and putting together the organizations and placing people in different places, and we're going to build up this thing. Yeah. And we have to keep our eyes on the goal right now. Keep our eyes on that one thing that everybody wants, paradise. Remember that there is no good or bad. Let's not focus on keeping our enemies right now. Let's focus on eliminating our enemies right now. Let's realize that we're all broken. We're all moving through stuff. We're all getting a little bit trampled, purging up some stuff right now, because after a purge, what always happens, you feel lighter and you get a nice little present under the tree, and you get to open it up and see what's inside. This is what Chiron is. It hurts, it stings, and then it is healing. It is Christ. It is beyond rationality. It is beyond what people think you can and can't do. Those are the things we will be doing. Okay, so this eclipse happening 7:38 Friday. I want to offer eclipse readings for people where I can see how this full moon is affecting your chart personally. And I think I'm going to do this on a donation basis. So if you go to my website, there's a PayPal donate button. Hit that, donate what you feel is appropriate. I'll receive the donation and I'll see what email it's coming from, and then I will send an email to that address, and I'm going to write up about a page describing how this eclipse is affecting you and your chart and the direction to take it, how to use it in the best potential. With great power comes great responsibility. We're getting together, we're realizing how much power, how much we really can do, and oh yeah, it's time to sort of get over the past, get over the wounds and the prejudices and the blaming. Forget all that. We are far more evolved to keep playing the old rules and the old games, and we're moving into a new era of consciousness. So on that note, I wish you the best. Hang in there, enjoy the ride, enjoy the fireworks. It's exciting life. My name is Tim Halloran, signing off. Namaste.